Talk Boxing World, 12 Rounds TV. Andre Dirrell and James DeGale fought today, and it's one of the best fights we've seen in a few months. DeGale won via unanimous decision over Dirrell. There was 2 knockdowns on the second round by DeGale to Dirrell. I believe that DeGale gave his best, and I believe that Dirrell underestimated DeGale's power. As we went on to the rounds, particularly after the knockdown on the second round, I strongly believe that Dirrell came to his senses that this was no ordinary fight, that this wasn't going to be an easy fight. I mean, it took Dirrell a few rounds, like I said, to get back to his senses and get his composure back. He fought well after that knockdown. As a matter of fact, he started winning some rounds simultaneously. 3-4 rounds in a row via scorecards, that is. If you guys have different opinion, then so be it. In my opinion, I believe that Dirrell did well, but wasn't good enough. I believe that if we have to review the fight, that maybe we would see a different outcome on the scorecards. Maybe Dirrell win, or maybe not. However, as we see in boxing, there's a lot of robberies, or there's a lot of controversies, and there's a lot of excuses, especially after the fight, when both fighters can't just accept defeat. And we've seen that, right? Unfortunately, whatever the scorecard says after the fight, it's final. It's really, really tough, and it's almost impossible to overturn that decision, especially if it goes all 12 rounds. If it was a clean knockout, then it's clean knockout, Then there will be no robbery in that situation, because we would actually know who won. Obviously, the guy that loses is the guy who gets knocked out. But in this situation, it was really, it was a good fight, and it was somewhat tough to score because, like I said, DeGale came out strong, and he scored 2 knockdowns on the second round, which is pretty tough on the scorecards to lose. Unless, like I said, unless Dirrell really won the rounds clearly after those knockdowns, then yes, he had a chance. I believe that he had a chance to win and almost won the fight if he had continuously through those combos, and especially in the 11th and the 12th round. I don't think that for 1 second that DeGale didn't win. However, it seems like Dirrell is having second thoughts and somewhat cannot accept the defeat, because he said there's no way he lost. His excuse, or I shouldn't say excuse because that's a very harsh word. His defense was because he said, quote unquote, that DeGale ran away or ran from him a lot. I saw some that DeGale did run, but he also was throwing punches, and he was jabbing, and he was more like going toe to toe with him as much as he could. But he did give Dirrell a chance to come back 3 or 4 rounds, and indeed Dirrell did, and he won those rounds. Like I said, on the 10th round, I believe, and I scored it myself, they were tied in scorecards, regardless of the knockdowns. And I said on the 12th round, whoever wins these 2 rounds can possibly win the fight, regardless of the knockdowns. Dirrell said that the last time he lost with, I believe it's Frankie, I can't remember. It was Frock. He lost to him. He said that they take that win away from him because he ran, because people said he ran. If that's the case, then Mayweather shouldn't have won against Pacquiao. But like I said, I'm not sure how people look at it, and I really, truly feel for Dirrell that he wanted to win that match, especially for the championship belt, for the vacant IBF super middleweight. But he lost. You know what I mean? He lost. He didn't do enough what I told everybody would do, what he do on the 11th and 12th round. It sucks. It sucks. Really, it sucks. And I know how he feels because it happens a lot. You know what I mean? But sometimes it's just easier to just be resilient and bounce back from it. You know, I know that fight means or meant a lot to Dirrell, and so did to DeGale. And I'm sure DeGale is very happy going back home with the belt and the title and the pride of his country, and obviously for the love of the sport. You know, he's the only gold medalist that ever won a title like that. So, like I said on my video, the post-fight, I said that that was the ticket. You know, that was the first time DeGale ever fought in the U.S. And his first fight, he won not just a regular win, but he won a belt. He won a title. We will be seeing more of DeGale in the future. And I strongly believe that. You know, they're going to want him back in the U.S. Like I said, there may be possible rematch, maybe. But that's up to DeGale to afford the rematch. Do you guys think, or do we think that Dirrell deserves a rematch? I mean, I would love to see both fighters fight again. It was a good match. Don't get me wrong. There was knockdowns. There was blood. There was brawl. There was running. I mean, you had everything. The only thing we didn't have over there was the knockout. If Dirrell thinks that if an opponent runs from the other, then they should lose, in that case, a lot of people, to include Floyd Mayweather Jr., wouldn't be 48-0. But apparently, I guess it's the point system and who lands the cleaner, more accurate punches. Yes, it does look good when the fighter is aggressive and when the fighter keeps going forward and non-stop. It does look good, but for some odd reason, the compo box numbers in the scorecards, sometimes it does not make sense. But like I said, it's almost impossible to overturn those. I mean, we can bitch about it and complain all we want, but it's never going to change. It is what it is. Like I said, unless it was a clean knockout, that's the only time really that there will be no cheating or robbery. I'm not saying that this fight with Dirrell against DeGale was a robbery. I'm not saying that at all. I thought DeGale did what he could. I think Dirrell did also, but Dirrell did good on the second half. Not even the whole second half, because he did like maybe 3 or 4 rounds when he was really aggressive and was landing those shots, and he was very quick and fast when he got DeGale on the ropes. And I thought that he would go like that throughout the whole second half, throughout the whole 12, until the 12th round. But he stopped on the 10th round. He let DeGale control the fight again. You know, DeGale gave him afforded Dirrell the opportunity to come back. DeGale, he slowed down. He stopped throwing punches. And if you guys saw the scores and how the judges were scoring it, unofficially, Dirrell was winning. You know, Dirrell was winning. Dirrell was saying that he would give him, or even some people are commenting that they would give only 4 rounds to 8 to DeGale. I don't think that's fair. I think DeGale scored those 2 knockdowns and made a big difference of being ahead of scorecards. But it sucks, man, when we have controversies after controversies, everything after the fight. It was a good sportsmanship, though. You know, with all the trash talking and taunting prior to the fight, press con, especially on the weigh-in. I mean, it was one of the most aggressive weigh-in we've seen. I mean, it was nose to nose like a UFC fight in a while. But after the fight, I have never seen, not at least in a few months, I've never seen both fighters congratulate or hug each other or talk with each other more than DeGale and Dirrell after the fight. I mean, it was good sportsmanship from both, but obviously Dirrell is kind of sour and bitter because he thought he won the fight. The same with Pacquiao. But like I said, it almost takes an act of God to overturn those cards. It's not going to happen. You're just gonna have to move on. It sucks. Like I said, I wasn't one of the officials scoring it. God knows what the ringside people were seeing, and the compo box numbers and the judges and everybody else around that ring or near that ring was seeing. But like I said before, when I'm watching the fight in front of a big screen TV, I feel like I have the better seat out of everybody, even on the ringside, because we can actually see what's going on. But even so, we still miss some shots. You know, some shots, it look like it lands, but no, it doesn't. But how can we eradicate those mistakes? We can't. We just have to go with it, you know? Yes, like I said, the aggressive fighters look like they're going to win, which Dirrell did for a few rounds. But like I said, those 2 knockdowns in the second round really, really hurt him. And, you know, like I said, now Dirrell is saying that he can see how he lost, because supposedly in his eyes, DeGale ran away from him. I mean, yeah, DeGale eluded him a little bit, but not so much. I mean, DeGale was winning. You know, without those 2 rounds, then I can see Dirrell have a good chance of winning it. But with those 2 knockdowns, it's kind of tough, man. It's kind of really, really tough, especially in the eyes of the judges, the scorecards and stuff like that. It's really, really tough. And as a matter of fact, even the referees being criticized now because they went docking points off of DeGale for, some people are saying, hugging or clinching or something like that. I didn't see too many of those. If anything, I saw more of that from Dirrell. It's tough, man. I think we should see a rematch. I mean, that's what I feel. It wasn't like it was one-sided. It was pretty close. I mean, Dirrell did not agree with the scorecard. I think it was 114, 112, 114, 112, and what was it? 117, 109 or something like that. It was a wide gap there. But I wouldn't score it 117, 109. If that was a score, I can't remember. But it was something like that. It was one judge that scored it really way off. I was like, okay, well, that's iffy there. But there's always that one judge, though, guys. You know what I mean? There's always that one judge that just want to be different or just see things differently. You know, as a matter of fact, I thought that everything was in favor for Dirrell. You know, DeGale, this was his first time fighting in the U.S., his first fight, and he won a belt, and it's not even his country. And pretty much, if you guys can hear the crowds, they were all cheering and rooting for Dirrell. Every time Dirrell hits DeGale some good shots and lands. I mean, the crowds was was going crazy, but every time DeGale hit Dirrell and land some good shots, we didn't hear too many of those because it's not his country, you know. Even so, he was still very, very polite and kind after the post-fight interview and said some good things about Dirrell. Like, he's a solid fighter. I know I was gonna be in a tough fight. I mean, he gave all some credits, you know, to Dirrell, even though with all the taunting, with all the insulting and all that stuff. But you know, sometimes those are all propagandas to build up the fight, kind of like an advertisement. So it builds more numbers, and numbers becomes monies, right? So, in other words, I guess Dirrell can't accept it that he lost that fight, you know, because simply that he thinks DeGale ran away from him. That's tough call. Let me know what you guys think, because as far as I saw, it was a close fight, and like I said, whoever won the 11th and the 12th round won that fight, regardless of the knockdowns. Because yes, DeGale did knock down Dirrell in the second round very early, and was very aggressive, and he was accurate with those two shots. But like I said before, man, Dirrell, to me, was quicker, was more of the boxer, was more of the calculator, was more of the cleaner shots landed, except for the two knockdowns that DeGale did. But also, to give credit to DeGale, DeGale has a good chin. Dirrell landed some very, very good shots, heavy shots in the face, chin. And DeGale didn't go down. He's got a good chin, and it's tough. You know, it's tough to fight somebody like that is already awkward. I mean, both fighters are southpaw, but I strongly believe that Dirrell is more faster, have a better posture, better defense, but I believe that DeGale has a better chin. You know, DeGale has one of those techniques and style that I will get you with one shot and will go down. I'm surprised Dirrell got up too after that. I mean, he did come back from it though. He was resilient enough to come back from it and won some rounds, but it was an eye-opener for him when he got knocked down. It's like, holy cow, he never thought he'd get knocked down by DeGale. Come on. But DeGale got good power. Sure does knock people down. So, we may see a rematch. We may or may not. I think Dirrell is going to push for a rematch, you know, to get his let's just say to get his ego satisfied. But it's very unlikely that will happen. I don't think DeGale would affirm the opportunity. I mean, DeGale's a nice guy though, so he may. We don't know. But there you go, folks. Dirrell is somewhat bitter and sour about the whole thing, that he thinks he won the fight. It's almost impossible. As a matter of fact, it is impossible to overturn that card, you know, and to rescore again and count it again. It is what it is. 114, 112, 114, 112. It's like ridiculous 117, 109. I would never, I mean, I know it was some, I know Dirrell lost, but not no 117, 109. I mean, if you guys see the punching stats and all the stuff, Landis and power punches stats, I mean, it was similar. You know, they were somewhat close. So 117, 109 is not fair. But it is what it is, though. It was a good match, though. Like I said, I enjoyed myself. Hope you guys did also. And this is like my, you know, my final thoughts on the whole thing after the fight. My prediction actually was 10 rounds, knocked down by Dirrell. 2 knockdowns, as a matter of fact, I said. But it was the opposite that happened. There were still 2 knockdowns, but it was from DeGale. I just thought that Dirrell had more, had the ability, more ability, and more skillful and more talented and a calculator in the fight. But hey, this is a sport where one punch can change the whole situation, right? But like I said, I'm gonna leave you guys with this. DeGale won. To me, Dirrell did what he could, but it wasn't good enough and wasn't enough. Had Dirrell continued to be aggressive and threw those combos on the 11th and 12th round, he may have very well won the fight. Will the judges see the same thing? I don't know. You guys make your own conclusions on that one. But I believe DeGale is a good fighter, and and congratulations to him. But he's got to work on the defense. You know, I don't like it when he puts his hands down like that. You know, he's a good puncher. He's got a lot of power, but when he puts out his hands like that, he opens himself up to risk, big risk. I mean, he's just lucky that he's got a good chin, and he faced somebody like Dirrell that he could take the shot. But how about if it was somebody else that has strong punching power, like Golovkin or Canelo for that matter? You know, very, very heavy hands. So even Kirkland got a heavy hands too. So if they ever fight with those guys ever fight with DeGale, then he may be in trouble with those hands down. You know, that's all he's got to work on. It's just defense. I believe Dirrell had a good defense, but he slipped. Second round, boom, dropped like a hot potato, right? But it happens. Like I said, one punch can change the whole situation, the whole game, and it is what it is. DeGale won, so just gotta be. So as a matter of fact, guys, I don't know if I told you guys, this was for the IBF super middleweight title shots. So, and this was first time of DeGale fighting in the U.S. and he won the title. And like I said to some of our subscribers, that I wouldn't be surprised if we would see DeGale more often from now on, because a lot of people are gonna want him back. You know what I mean? Take that belt back from him, or take it away from him. So a lot of people will challenge him, you know, because like I said, he's a good punching power, but the defense is like one of those things that catches other opponents' eyes. Oh yeah, I can beat him. He got his guard down all the time, you know, because he's a southpaw guy, you know, and so does Dirrell. But you know, people like that when you have your hands down and guard down a little bit. So, but yeah, also I want to give a shout out to Don't Worry. He's one of our subscribers, and he watches our videos, and he's all over the YouTube. You know, he's a good guy. He made me a banner. My profile, it says 12 Rounds TV. He made that for me. Shout out to him. Thanks, bro. And I'll talk to you guys in the next one. Let me know what you guys think about Dirrell thinking that he thought he won the fight. Pretty much. Till next time, people. Stay safe and take care out there. Talk to you on the next one. Peace.